coming up on this snowy edition of ATV News.
This is a tough one. A lot of families affected in this one. A lot of lives changed.
3 people died in a head-on collision in Logan Canyon. We'll tell you what Utah Highway Patrol says happened.
I said, "Mom, I love you," and there is a school shooter inside the school.
The call was fake, but we'll show you the real effects of the school shooter hoax.
Miles for miles on this mountain.
We'll show you how much snow Cherry Peak Resort got this season and why they're so happy about it.
In weather, I'll show you how much snow we got, how much snow we'll get, and the record that we keep breaking.
Her first collegiate 10K, and now she's the second fastest all time. I'll tell you who it is and how close she was to being number 1.
All that and more, this is ATV News.
I think it was worse driving than when they actually declared a snow day.
Utah State students say they barely made it to campus for classes with the roads covered in snow from this April snowstorm. Welcome to this edition of ATV News. I'm Noah Giles.
And I'm Claire Scott. Logan Canyon closed around 3 p.m. today for avalanche mitigation work. The Utah Department of Transportation tweeted that the canyon will be closed today near the Dugway and Beaver Point around 3 p.m. for avalanche mitigation work, and to please avoid the area during this time. At the time of us filming, UDOT has not released whether the canyon has been open for travel. UDOT also issued a roadway restriction for Sardine Canyon this morning. This is what road conditions looked like in the canyon after a night of snowfall. Snow stuck to the ground, leading to dangerous driving conditions. The roadway restriction requires approved traction devices for all vehicles. This means vehicles with all-wheel or four-wheel drive should have tires with better traction than summer tires, and vehicles with two-wheel drive should have 3-peak mountain snowflake tires, which are tires with better traction than all-season tires. Traction devices such as chains are also accepted.
These road conditions have led to vehicle crashes all over Utah. UDOT has reported over 84 crashes in the past 12 hours. This map shows active incidents in Utah around 8 this morning. And this map shows active incidents in Utah around 3 this afternoon. UDOT has not reported any crashes in Cache Valley at this time.
Drivers on highways weren't the only ones impacted by the snowy road conditions. Even snowplows were getting stuck in the snow this morning. Drivers on Main Street drove through slick conditions that students say made it hard to get to campus. Students who took the bus say they were concerned even though they weren't the one driving.
I really thought the bus was going to get hit, and like all 50 of us in there just jam-packed, most of us standing, gripping on for dear life.
Smith says though they trust the bus drivers in these conditions, they were scared to see other cars slipping on the road. Katie Varga from Weather joins us live outside to check our current weather.
Students have been walking on this snow-covered campus since October, and usually by now the snow has either melted, is melting, but not usually snowing. So students say they were surprised when they got to campus today and there was 13 inches of snow. Coming up in weather, I'll tell you more about the snow and your 7-day forecast. Back to you, Claire.
Thanks, Katie.
If you're not happy with all the snow this season, you're probably not a skier. 423 inches of snow have fallen on Cherry Peak Resort this season, nearly 150% of their previous record.
Conditions have been just, epic. They've been beautiful, and it still feels like winter. It's more like February.
Cherry Peak Resort's closing day is April 15th, but Hansen says with all the snow they've been getting, they might extend for another weekend.
The National Integrated Drought Information System removed Utah from the exceptional and extreme drought stages. The drought intensity is measured in 5 stages. D4, exceptional drought, has the worst drought conditions, and D0, abnormally dry, has the slightest conditions. A year ago, the majority of Utah was sitting at a D2 with the western and southeastern parts at a D3. This week, the map shows that Utah is now in the D2 to D0 range, which is classified as severe to abnormally dry. The eastern side of the state has no rating, meaning those areas are not experiencing drought conditions. Most of Cache County has a D0 rating because of all the snow we continue to get. 3 people are dead after a head-on collision in Logan Canyon.
Utah Highway Patrol says 21-year-old Jordan Erickson and 24-year-old Dakota Mejia were killed on impact after their Kia Rio swerved into oncoming traffic and hit a Ford Excursion head-on. Paramedics rushed 17-year-old Jerica Erickson to the hospital in critical condition, but she died upon arrival. The driver of the Ford, 29-year-old Kylan Romril, had only minor injuries. Troopers conducted a DUI test and arrested him for driving impaired. Sergeant Cade Brenchley says eliminating distractions is the best way to avoid collisions.
Even though it's spring, we're still in winter weather, and people just get in a big hurry. People get distracted. If you're the driver, do everything you can to eliminate all your distractions and pay attention to the road.
UHP expects the other 2 passengers in the Kia to make full recoveries.
2 16-year-olds are under arrest after police say they are responsible for a false bomb threat at a Walmart in North Logan. Officers evacuated workers and shoppers following a call they say they received from a Walmart employee about 2 boys claiming they had a bomb somewhere inside the store. Police say they asked for help with the evacuation from multiple agencies, including bringing a bomb dog from USU to help search the building, but no threat was found. Officers put out a picture asking for help in finding the people responsible for the bomb threat, but we can't use it because they are juveniles.
Police are searching for the person who they say called in reports of a shooter to 13 Utah high schools. Anna Johnson shows you what it was like for students locked down in their classrooms.
I saw all the cops running into the school with guns.
Active shooter. Spanish Fork High School.
Well, something's going on.
Reported having a handgun.
Police stormed Spanish Fork High School on March 29th after they received a call there was a shooter inside the building.
We got sent into these closets with the doors locked, and everyone was freaking out.
Inside, students were texting their families.
I said, "Mom, I love you." And there is a school shooter inside the school.
Spanish Fork High wasn't the only school where students were on lockdown. Authorities say they received calls about shooters at Box Elder, Provo, Ogden, West, and other high schools throughout Utah. The Utah Department of Public Safety says these calls were made by one man using the same story, bouncing his IP address to stay hidden. IP bouncing is kind of like playing Pong. You bounce your internet address around through different countries, moving too quickly for police or anyone else to track it. Pretty soon, it's impossible to tell where the call came from. This time, the calls were a hoax, but Bartold says he's worried about what happens next time.
They're going to keep on calling, and one day it's going to be real, and that's going to be a scary day.
It's reassuring to see that type of response and that type of people just rush in without hesitation.
I just think we need to be aware of that this is life, and we need to be ready for when it does happen.
Anna Johnson, ATV News.
Police say both local and federal agencies are investigating the fake calls.
Utah is the first state in the nation to enact laws restricting minors' social media use. Governor Cox signed House Bill 311, which prevents social media companies from designing their platforms in ways that can be addictive for minors.
There's no doubt there's going to be legal challenges. The same type of legal challenges that we saw with big tobacco, the same type of legal challenges that we saw with big pharma and opioids. And so I'm not going to back down from a potential legal challenge when these companies are killing our kids.
Governor Cox also signed Senate Bill 152, which requires parent or guardian consent for minors to open a social media account. For people 18 or older, social media platforms would need to verify their age with documentation. Both bills go into effect next March.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints announced the construction of 15 new temples around the world during General Conference. The temples will be built in Retalhuleu, Guatemala, Iquitos, Peru, Teresina, Brazil, Natal, Brazil, Tegucigalpa City, Philippines, Iloilo, Philippines, Jakarta, Indonesia, Hamburg, Germany, Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada, San Jose, California, Bakersfield, California, Springfield, Missouri, Winchester, Virginia, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
The Ellen Eccles Theater is part of a Cache Valley history. You may have seen plays, your parents' movies, and your grandparents' vaudeville shows there. This accordion is right at home with the vaudeville letters from the days of traveling variety shows. They were a part of the original building that opened 100 years ago.
We're just so thankful for the visionary citizens who, back in the late 80s and early 90s, instead of letting this place turn into a parking lot, they made it into what it is today.
The American Festival Chorus performed as part of the 3-day celebration. Joining us at the desk, Katie Varga from Weather and Verl Johansson from Sports. Now guys, have you ever seen a show at Eccles Theater before?
Last year I actually went to the dance company's their end of the year kind of performance, and that was super awesome. But like, it really does feel like you're in another century when you're there.
I haven't, but I honestly would like to see one. I just haven't had time.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, just looking at kind of the video and stuff, it looks really cool. I mean, I have to take my wife before we leave after graduating this semester.
All right, and coming up, we'll show you what these blacksmiths are making.
There's a lot of ways to hurt yourself doing this.
And why pain won't stop them.
The current temperature is 29 degrees.
Today, 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic. That means many of the future doctors who will care for us, the engineers who will build our cities, the scientists and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone. And every day more people support you to make it happen. Many support you. And the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. hsf.net.
In Utah, 1 in 8 women and 1 in 50 men will be raped. Also in Utah, 1 in 3 women will experience sexual violence. Of the completed and attempted rapes against college women, less than 5% will actually be reported. Sexual assault should not be a part of the college experience. Always get consent.
Consent for sexual activity is enthusiastic.
Consent is sober. Consent is non-coerced.
Consent is verbal.
Consent is mutual.
If you or someone you know has experienced sexual assault, report it at reportingsa.usu.edu.
Welcome to ATV Weather. I'm Katie Varga. Let's start with our national forecast. All right, so you can see there's some precipitation over here and over in the east, but we're going to focus on this area right here. Now you can see this big kind of yellow area right here, and that is associated with this orange area as well. So these people are in a blizzard warning. They've been asked not to leave their house. Now around it, we see this pink and purple. And that means that they are in a winter storm warning. And we will get back to that in a bit. We're going to come down to this orange. These are not the same oranges. This means that they are in a wind warning, but it's pretty bad. So they got some fires and the wind's coming through and picking up the fires, and it's also leaving a lot of wind damage. So that's what's going on over here. And then when you come to these tan states right here, they are experiencing wind advisory. However, they are also at high stake risks of tornadoes, floods, hail, and wind damage. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now. And we've also been having a lot of snow over in Utah. So let's look at our state radar. All right, so as you can see right here, this means that we are in a winter storm warning. And the National Weather Service has said that we are at a level 3 out of a 4 risk. So they ask if you're going to go travel, especially in the morning when there's still snow all over the road, to pack water, food, and a blanket just in case anything happens. And you can also see how there's just a storm kind of just sitting on top of us, and it will be there for just a little bit. Now let's look at our snow water. Alrighty, so basically what this means is this is all of our water that we're gonna get from our snow. And this data is comparing to regular data. And this is all blue, which is really great. That means that we have gotten a lot more snow than normal and we're gonna get a lot more water, which is great for our drought. So you can see up in the north, right where we are, we're at 168, and all the way down here, they're at 323. 323% of what they normally get. That is awesome. All right, now let's move on to see what it looks like in Logan. So you're probably wondering, when is this snow gonna go away? Because we're dealing with this every single day, right? Well, the original record was set in 1987 at 26 inches. That's of water that they're getting from all this snow. Now we beat that last week, and then we beat that again on Monday. So now we have 28.7 inches of water we're gonna get from this snow. And that's great, unless the temperature heats up really fast, because then that can lead to flooding. So let's see what our temperatures are gonna look like in our 7-day forecast. So as you can see here, today, Tuesday, it was snowing. If you came to campus today, like I talked about earlier, it's lots of snow. There's been 13 inches just overnight, which was a lot. We're gonna have a little bit more snow tomorrow on Wednesday, kind of the same temperatures, a little bit lower at 17. Then coming over to Thursday, we're not as hot, we're not getting any hotter at all, but the sun is out, and that does make a difference. Personally, I always think it's better when the sun is out. And then we're gonna get a little bit of rain on Saturday. Let's cross our fingers that it's not snow. I mean, unless you like snow, then that would be good for you. And then on Monday, we could possibly getting almost all the way up to the 60s, and that would be so great, as long as it doesn't melt our snow and make us flood, because that would not be good. You are all caught up on weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Katie. Blacksmithing did not go away with the horse and buggy. Modern blacksmiths are still forging ahead, and I visited a northern Utah forge and let the blacksmiths there tell what forging means to them in their own words.
I'm just going to work on this one end and we'll forge weld those together. I'm a professional blacksmith and we build ornamental railings and light structure and forge our own knives. It's just really, really cool. Kind of takes you back to your roots. And then I'll just put a little rat tail finial on the end of it. I love teaching. It's so much fun to bring people in and be able to see and expose their talents, help them realize that it's not that hard.
Lonnie offered some classes and came over and got to see how the pros did it.
He's the best there is around. He's the nicest guy, and I was like, I ought to work for him.
And then how that's locked in there, that will be the scarf that we're after. That's welded enough that I can go into the fire and then I can bring it out. As long as I'm staying at welding temperature, I can bring it back and forth and keep going with it.
Sometimes these patterns will come out and you'll go, well, that's not what I was aiming for, but it's really cool. Just a few years ago, I started digging more into it, saw some things that look really cool.
How many people can do images between the elk or the flag and a poem in it? There's a small handful of people that can pull it off in the United States.
I like being unique and being the oddball out, and some other girls like that too, and they give me pointers, they accept me for me, they don't treat me any differently.
See if we can get everything to line up a little bit.
You start with a bar of steel or raw steel and you turn it into something either functional or beautiful.
That's just the way the steel likes to work when you untwist it. It's just amazing to be able to take an ordinary piece of steel and heat it up and change its shape. Just draw on a taper on the end of it and give it some character and change it to whatever you want to.
To find out more about Shadow Mountain Forge and upcoming classes, you can follow their social media through a link on our Facebook page. Now, Virgil Hansen joins us from sports, and I wanted to ask you guys, it was just so amazing to be able to go to the forge and see someone in their element and have a hobby that they love. Do you guys have hobbies that you love to do?
I'm not very good at it, but I do like painting and any sort of art. I mean, it kind of relaxes me. It's very therapeutic for myself. What about you, bro?
I mean, I've seen the show, and it's incredible. I mean, it's just watching these guys show their passion. I'm super passionate about sports. Kind of cliche being the sports guy, but I love to watch, I love to play, and we've got a lot of sports coming up.
When you send your first kid away to college, it's always a little nerve-wracking, and then when it's an athlete, it's even more.
Josh Davis spoke at a press conference after collapsing at practice. We'll show you how he and his parents are showing their gratitude.
Oh, if they look nice, then they're probably also nicer, kinder, smarter, more successful.
We'll show you why a pretty face might make people think higher of you.
Aggie Air is an innovative engineering program exclusive to Utah State. It provides opportunities for students to get hands-on and real-world experiences. By building model planes that photograph and scan detailed images of landscapes, Aggie Air can change the way we use the Earth's surface. Watch as Aggie Air takes flight.
Today, 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic. That means many of the future doctors who will care for us, the engineers who will build our cities, the scientists and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone. And every day, more people support you to make it happen. Many support you. And the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. Learn more at hsf.net.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at savethefood.com.
No matter what happens in his football career, Josh is always going to be an Aggie.
After Davis collapsed on the football field at practice. Welcome to ATV Sports. I'm Verl Johansson. Now, Davis is the second athlete at USU saved by an AED in the last 11 years.
First of all, it's been a crazy week.
Davis, his parents, USU head coach Blake Anderson, interim athletic director Jerry Bovee, and associate athletic director for sports medicine Mike Williams shared their perspective of Davis's collapse. While Davis may not play college football again, he says he's not worried about it, and his parents say they are grateful for everyone's help.
The short answer for playing football in the future is probably not, but I'm kind of not really worried about that right now. Kind of just taking it slow, taking it day by day.
Thank God for this miracle.
You're always worried, who's watching them, who's taking care of them, and I can say to anybody that's watching this, that's not something you have to worry about at Utah State. It was unbelievable.
The Davis family says they are donating to the Utah State sports medicine team to thank them and hope it becomes an endowment to recognize the work of Mike Williams, Kendra Gilmore, and Brady Molnar, who worked to save Josh's life. Men's basketball head coach Ryan Odom is set to coach Virginia Commonwealth after resigning Wednesday. Over 2 years, Odom led the Aggies to a 44-25 record, including appearances in the NIT tournament last year and this year's Mountain West Conference Championship, as well as the NCAA tournament. Senior Sean Bairstow and junior Max Shoga announced they are entering the transfer portal. Bairstow played 4 years in Logan, appearing in 117 games last season. The Australian captained the team, averaging 10.3 points and 5.2 rebounds per game. Shoga played 3 seasons for the Aggies, appearing in 90 games. The Ukrainian averaged 11.9 points, 4.2 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. Shoga entered the portal in 2021 when then head coach Craig Smith left to coach the Utes before deciding to return to Utah State. Men's tennis fell to Nevada 4-2 before losing to UNLV 4-3. They host the Air Force on Thursday. Women's tennis got swept 4-0 by San Diego State and the UNLV. They face New Mexico Friday. After losing the first 2 games against Nevada 12-4 and 9-1, the Aggies rallied to win Sunday 4-1. Utah State ace Haley McLean threw a complete game, striking out 10 batters in the victory. USU's Brianna Brooks and Sophie Sullivan competed in the Pittsburgh Regional of the NCAA Gymnastics Championship. Now, Brooks scored a 9.925 on bars, a career high for the Las Vegas native, and the second highest bar score by an Aggie at a regional competition in history. Brooks was also named the NCAA North Central Region Gymnast of the Year. Sullivan scored a 9.875 on the beam, her highest at a regional competition, placing 7th out of 27 on the apparatus. After setting a 54-hole record in California, Golf competed at the Wyoming Cowboy Classic in Arizona. Now, the Classic's been played in Arizona since its inception in 2003, so why Wyoming hosts instead of an Arizona school is beyond me. The Aggies finished 4th out of 21 teams. Track competed in 3 meets in California, with 10 Aggies breaking into the top 10 all-time list. Sophomore Valerie Clark topped her own record, throwing the javelin 46.6 meters to rank 4th all-time. Junior Jamalia Pepkichili beat her own record by launching the javelin 44.24 meters, ranking 8th all-time. Senior Mika Rivera and sophomore Anna Weaver both shattered the previous 10K record by almost a minute, recording times of 32 minutes 57 seconds 50 milliseconds and 32 minutes 59 seconds 4 milliseconds, respectively, only 2 seconds separating them. This was also Weaver's first 10K. In the 3,000-meter steeplechase, senior Abby Jensen finished in 10 minutes, 14 seconds, and 7 milliseconds, beating her own mark at 3rd all-time. Bailey Brinkerhoff moved into 6th all-time with a time of 10 minutes, 22 seconds, 82 milliseconds. Sophomore Mimi Miyazawa overtook the 4th best mark in history in the 5K with a time of 16 minutes, 26 seconds, 56 milliseconds. Junior Emma Shippen's 3.78-meter pole vault now ranks 8th in USU history. On the men's side, senior Bridger Altice's 29 minutes, 3 seconds, and 14 milliseconds finish in the 10K is the 6th best all-time, while freshman Logan Hammer moved to 8th best in USU history for a 5.1-meter pole vault. Now, we had quite the weekend. He had 11 different athletes put themselves either beating their own record or etching their own names into the top 10 in USU history. Just really a record-breaking weekend.
It's wild. I mean, just all those records stacking up. How do you think this team stacks up compared to last?
I mean, the track team, a lot of them, like I said, they beat their own records. So, I mean, they're looking really good this season.
Thanks, Pearl. Money, gifts, and compliments. All things you might receive if you have pretty privilege. Katie Varga finds out what pretty privilege actually is.
Someone just asked for a Snapchat.
Oh, wow. These two girls are on TikTok Live, a place they have been sent money unsolicited, been asked out on dates, and have received over 12,000 views at once. But why? Some might say this is because of pretty privilege. That means receiving more opportunities and popularity because of how you look.
I do think that pretty privilege is a thing, definitely.
So why would being pretty have to do with how we are treated?
We find certain things beautiful or pretty, whether it's in nature or with people. Our biology assigns a positive idea or positive feeling to that beauty.
And there's been times where I go through like a Starbucks drive-through and I go and get my drink from the barista and they're like, oh no, your drink's paid for. The guy in front of you just paid for it and wanted me to tell you that you're gorgeous and to have a good day.
Giles says there is more than just seeing these people as attractive.
That halo effect that, oh, if they look nice, then they're probably also nicer, kinder, smarter, more successful.
In these clothes and with a lack of trying, I might not receive the same positive attention as if I had these clothes and this hair and makeup. Giles says once dressed up and looking nice, I'm more likely to get a job, people see me as smarter, more trustworthy, and associate me with positive thoughts. If you are too pretty, the opposite effect happens.
Then we start to attribute some other things to them like vanity and rudeness.
Bullies. We are not bullies.
Dowdy and Wuthridge say there is a dark side to pretty privilege.
I love getting degraded on live. It's just the best.
During their live, a TikTok user asked to be their sugar daddy. They say this is a common occurrence. After the live, the user DM'd them the same question. Dowdy says she has an inbox full of questions like this.
I'm not going out and asking for like male attention. I'm just doing what I want to do, living my life. I'm not looking for it at all myself.
Katie Varga, ATV News.
The term easy on the eyes should really be easy on the brain. Giles says another reason we have such positive feelings towards attractive people is because their face is easier on our brain. It takes less work to read that person's face, therefore we like them more.
Thank you for watching this edition of ATV News.
You can watch this and other editions on our Facebook page.
We'll leave you with footage of the Polynesian Student Union's luau.
Have a great week, Cache Valley.